It was a kind of night where the world felt still, almost too quiet. The streetlights buzzed softly. Somewhere in the distance, a siren whined. James and Anna were driving home from dinner, laughing about how Max, their golden retriever, had stolen a burger off the kitchen counter earlier that week. He always looked guilty, like he knew better, but just couldn't help himself. Then it happened. A flash of movement, a screech of tires, a yelp that made Anna's heart stop mid-beat. Max had jumped out of the back seat window when he saw a squirrel. It happened in seconds. One moment he was with them, tongue out, wind in his fur. The next, he was lying on the side of the road, motionless. James slammed the brakes, ran out barefoot. Anna screamed his name, clutching her phone as she tried to dial someone. Anyone. But her fingers wouldn't work. When they reached the emergency animal hospital, Max was barely breathing. The vet team rushed him to back, while a tech handed him a clipboard. Sign here. Initial here. Do you want CPR if his heart stops? Anna blinked at the form. Of course, she whispered. Do everything. An hour later, the vet came back with blood on his scrubs. He's alive, but barely. He has internal bleeding, spinal compression, 3 broken ribs, and a partially collapsed lung. We need to operate right now. There's a surgeon available at our partner clinic. We've already transferred the scans. James swallowed hard. How much? The vet didn't flinch. $50,000. Up front. Anna felt her knees buckle. James caught her. She clutched his arm like a lifeline, her face pale. We don't have that, James said quietly. We're not rich. We're not even close. They asked about payment plans. Financing. Credit cards. The vet's tone softened, but the answer was no. Emergency pet hospitals don't do IOUs. Not for $50,000. Not when every second counts. They sat in silence in the family room, fluorescent lights flickering above, the hum of machines and muffled barks behind a set of locked doors. James stared at the floor. We should have gotten pet insurance. Anna was already crying. He's our family. In another wing of the hospital, a different dog was being prepped for surgery. Daisy, a purebred Pomeranian with a pink bow and custom carrier, had suffered a neurological seizure. Her owner, Victoria Lane, was a retired fashion executive. Daisy had flown on private jets, had a personal trainer, 8 gourmet meals. She was insured, of course, but Victoria would have paid the full cost in cash without thinking twice. I want the best, she told the surgeon, just like I'd want for myself. Meanwhile, James walked out of the hospital to clear his head and noticed a woman sitting on the bench outside. She had silver hair, was dressed in a dark blazer, and was sipping coffee out of a paper cup. You okay? She asked quietly. He nodded automatically, then shook his head. Our dog's dying. Surgery's $50,000. We can't afford it. The woman studied him for a moment. Golden retriever? He looked up in surprise. Yeah, Max. She put her coffee down. My dog's name was Leo. He died last year. Cancer. The vet told me it would be $70,000. I didn't hesitate. Not because I'm rich, though I am, but because he saved my life once. Pulled me out of a lake when I had a seizure. He never left my side. James didn't know what to say. I sold to watch to cover it, she continued, and I promised him that if I ever saw someone else in his shoes, I'd help. Back inside, Anna was whispering to Max through the oxygen cage, telling him it wasn't his fault, that he was a good boy, that they were going to fix this. The woman walked in with James and asked to speak to the vet. She offered to pay the full $50,000. Anonymously, the vet blinked. Ma'am, you understand this isn't a guarantee. I know, she said, but it's a chance. The surgery started an hour later. It took 9 hours. 3 surgeons, blood transfusions, screws in the spine, a titanium plate in the ribs. Max made it. The story went viral 3 weeks later. A nurse posted a photo of Max taking his first steps with a therapy harness, then a video of him wagging his tail at Anna, then a side-by-side of his x-rays, before and after. News outlets picked it up. The dog who got a second chance. Stranger pays $50,000 to save couple's golden retriever. Would you spend a fortune to save your pet? Everyone had an opinion. Some praised the woman's kindness. Others said it was a waste. Money that could have helped people, not pets. But no one could deny the impact it made. Max became a therapy dog a year later. He visited children's hospitals, walked beside cancer patients, and curled up at the feet of veterans during their PTSD sessions. He knew pain. He understood healing. And he was alive because someone decided his life was worth $50,000. That story never left James or Anna. They got pet insurance. They started a foundation to help others afford life-saving treatment. They called it Max's Second Chance. But not every dog gets that. Every day, thousands of pet owners are faced with the same impossible decision. Pay a fortune or say goodbye. It's not fair. It's not even logical. Sometimes, but it's real. And in a world where money often decides who lives and who doesn't, some dogs make it out. Some don't. Not because of how much they're loved, but because of how much someone else can pay. And maybe, just maybe, that's the part we need to change.